Great start to the show. I muted myself. Great. We're off to a great start. Welcome in, friends, and future friends to this episode of the Sports and the World podcast. I am LaDarius. Hope you're well and safe. And of course, I have my co-host here. We took some time off. Life happened. Things happen. But we're back and better than ever with the amazing Hailee Murphy. And how are you, my friend? What was it? Oh, no. Say it again. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Don't tell me. Wait a minute. That's it. Yeah, the mic's on mute. Yeah, we were doing good.
Good. How are
There we go.
you?
Okay.
It's been a
Technology.
rough one. It's been a rough one.
Technology, like, you know what? We're going to probably say some things. Thank God it won't be a long show today, because if it was, oh man, we'd be cooked.
We wouldn't make it if it were.
Let's read the Friday reviews. I don't think we have to read this week's. I'm good. I'm good. I'm just gonna go by the go build me a veranda and just sit out there. But anyway, but okay. So a lot to get to. Like I said, not gonna be a long show for you guys today. And let's look at the chat real quick. We got John jumping in, shout out to Ladarius and Haley. Yeet, good yeet. And one word, yeet. And yeah, she's muted. Yeah. So yeah, we put that together rather quickly. And that's on my end, America. But
It's
so
been microphones are not our friend today.
yeah, it's like they know, like, oh man. But so anyway, a lot to get to. And so let's just jump right into it. The bigger we're gonna usually we start with NFL. We usually do, which we will. But news coming out of Ann Arbor, and I see the hands rubbing together, which means that I know I can take a break, and then Haley's got this, and I'll order me a sandwich, and Haley's got this. A lot going on. Head coach Sharon Moore, fired by Michigan. Basically, I'll give the gist if there needs to be a gist, but uh I'll do is that I'll just read the article, and I'll let you, the listening and or watching audience, put it together. So so we'll go, so essentially, Sharon Moore was let go, and now he's in custody in. Oh man, why I should rehearse pronouncing the words before we started. That's on me. But um, in Washington County Jail in Michigan. He was detained by police on December 10th after Pittsfield Township Police Department, with reported help of the Saline Police Department, responded at 4:10 on Wednesday, December 10th, for the purposes of investigating alleged assault. And when the Wolverines issued a statement on the 10th at 4:43 that it had fired him from his position with cause. They found credible evidence that he engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, and he'll be in court for arraignment tomorrow. So a lot to unpack. So we'll go with you. I have my thoughts, but I'm going to get your thoughts on the situation, and kind of where does where does Michigan go from here? So you have the floor.
Yeah. So first, obviously, I feel for his wife and his children. That's really, really, really terrible, really awful situation to be thrusted into non-voluntarily, right? But oh, how the tables have turned. Where is this moral high ground, this Michigan man mentality? Where is that? Where is that? It's all gone, right? It's interesting because obviously there's been rumors that Michigan has had information on this since even before the Ohio State game. Not like it would have helped, not like it helped them keeping this, in within closed quarters, because they still, got their asses kicked that game. But yeah, so it's interesting to see the dynamic in how fans are reacting, how media is reacting, how the school is reacting, and honestly, how the police department is handling this. Obviously, so it feels like every hour new information is coming out, and so I really, really interested to see the full story in terms of the arrest. Right. I know Adam Schefter, I think, made a comment today. We don't know Sharon's story. I don't care about his story. I don't care about his side. I'm not really interested in his side. I'm interested to see what the police report says. I'm interested in seeing the extent of this affair. I caution by saying that because there is that power struggle, right? You got the head coach of one of the biggest football programs in the country, and his assistant, and it's just a little. It's interesting, but I finally feel like there's a piece of insane news that is not about a Michigan State head coach, and I can finally take a breath and breathe and just enjoy the fact that I got a new coach, but not because mine's a creep or a weirdo. I got a new coach because mine just didn't work out. But yeah, so, it's interesting seeing people like Dave Portnoy and these like former Michigan players being very protective of the school in this when they are generally the first people to call out other teams for misbehavior. A lot of hypocrisy I'm noticing. And it's a shitty situation. Obviously, no one wishes this on anybody in terms of the victims in this case. But I mean, this was preventable. He could have kept it in his pants, but he chose not to. So it's a little interesting that this is the one cheating coach that gets actually punished. But I'll take one rather than none.
Yeah, it's and you said something that you took the phrase out of my mouth. It's just that all he had to do is just keep it in his pants, and people think, oh, that's so simple. We've seen throughout history where that has brought down not just careers, it's literally brought down empires. Like, we're not talking like, oh, it brought down like a career, which it has. It's brought down empires throughout history. All you had to do is that you're married, you have kids, you're the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, you have probably one of the best jobs in the country, and then you do this. I look at it as, like, to your point, I think of his family. Like, really, I'm not really interested in what he has to say. Like, usually, like, the criminal justice be like, I want to hear both sides. Here, I really don't, because there's nothing. You're the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, and you're married, and you had in a relationship with another person that wasn't your wife. And to me, I look at it as you let down the school. Well, obviously, you let down your family. That's clear. That's number one. But you let down the players on that team. You let down the coaches on that team. Like those families of those kids, they entrusted you with their children, with their sons. They entrusted you. So now, to me, from the personal side, we'll see more when he gets arraigned. From a football standpoint, we got to look at, like, they have a bowl game. And I don't know how you focus for that. It's hard to overlook it. But, like, to put a button on this, it's a situation where it's preventable. Like, listen, even with, like, Petrino, and I don't like Petrino for a lot of reasons. I got a lot of reasons. This man showed up to Atlanta, leaving notes to go back to Arkansas. Like, sir, like but even with Petrino, this man showed up to a press conference in a neck brace, like it's a malpractice suit. It's like all he was missing was, like, him, like, with the cast on his arm. It's like you understand the position you're in. It's like you're the head coach. They look at you. They look to you for leadership, and then you do this. Listen. We talked about the transfer. Like, this Michigan, like, it's going to get. I'm not gonna say it's going to get bad, but it's going to be interesting because I don't know who wants this job. Michigan's a great job, but who would want it at this point? It's like, to be honest, like, the names I hear are just ridiculous. Someone had the nerve to bring up Brian Kelly, and that's how I knew. That's how I know you're unserious. I'm like, you mean the same Brian Kelly who left Notre Dame, which was in the news further, but he left a good job at Notre Dame, winning double-digit games a season, thinking he can come down to the SEC, thinking he can run it. Look how that worked out. And then find out, oh, by the way, he's not a great person either. Like the story that came out after he got fired was like this, like he didn't care. But the overriding point is that going back to this situation, at the end of the day, think about for Michigan, back-to-back head coaches, scandal. Like, how do you? I don't know. If you're a player on that team today, if you go into the portal, I would not be upset. Like if Bryce Underwood said, you know what, I'm sitting out this bowl game, I'm good, I'm going to transfer, wouldn't be wrong. Like, it wouldn't be wrong. Because listen, we've seen coaches can move like nobody's business. No. If you're a player, would you want to play for this program? Because this is back to back. Back to back. And for Sherrone Moore, I don't know. Maybe he'll bounce back. I'm not worried about that. It's that he had a great job. You'll never get that great of a job ever again. It's like that one singer or that one artist who had that one great song, and they can spend their entire life trying to get to that great song, and they can't outrun it. That's going to be Sherrone Moore. You'll never get a job like Michigan again because of the portrayal of obviously your family, the players, the coaches, and the administration. And I look at it from a personal level because, like, people don't want to talk about it, but it makes, like, black head coaches, this is the thing I always talk about. I'm like, respectfully, we don't get the same opportunities.
Yep.
And people, I didn't root for Sherrone Moore because he was black. I rooted for him because he earned that job. They gave him the keys to a great job, and he didn't do terrible. But now with this, it makes it harder. It makes it difficult when you're the first to do something or when the opportunities aren't there and you're a separate race. And this is the example. Like there's great coaches of color out there may not get the same looks because of what he did. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's justifiable. That's just the way you and I both know how society works, whether it's women, whether it's people of color. If one person screws up, oh, everybody's bad. Not true, but that's
just how society looks at it. You know, it's unfortunate that an extra outside pressure is placed on, you know, people of color, women in positions like this. It sucks, but that's how society is right now. And you're right. I mean, and Michigan, you know, has a track record of hiring successful black coaches, but unfortunately, two of their most prominent ones have had insane scandals. You know, it just, I chalk it up to obviously the person, you know, the exact type of person they are. And it's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just the way I look at it. And then JC brought Petrino. Yeah. Listen, that dude. If I see that dude if I'm going out of town and I just see this man, I'm like, whoever's with me better be like, man, you better keep me away from that. That's all. Like, I'm that angry. You quit. You know, at least Nick Saban finished with Miami and then he went back to Alabama. Okay. He finished the season. Petrino, buddy, the money was always going to be there. There's 3 weeks left in any. And then, like, more legit. Yeah, the situation is like, it's going to be more of the fall out there. And then, yeah. And then, like I say, for Michigan, I don't know how you bounce back.
Well, think about this. What is it? I think the number is like 7 of the coaches that Harbaugh has hired have had run-ins with the law. I mean, I think it was like 4 of them, like insane DUIs. Weiss is just a weirdo, and you know he's in court. And then now this. It's just, what's the pattern? But you know, they preach this moral superiority that, you know, the whole Michigan man mentality, and now, you know, look at all these Michigan men.
Yeah, it's like I don't work in PR, but we got to change that. If you're in Ann Arbor, like, I'm not saying But like we gotta, like just say they're men and they happen to be from Michigan. Don't use yeah. Even though they're from Michigan, don't use Michigan man. It takes the whole dude now. No thanks. It's like the one guy I think who would probably consider this job is Jesse Mentor, the Chargers DC. That's the only guy I would consider. Like, because it would make sense. But
It
like I
would.
said, there's other great candidates, but that's one
Yeah.
I'd be curious about. Then we got Pamela here. Hi, hello, LaDarius and Hailee in the chat. Hello, Pamela. Love her. She has a
Hey.
go check her. And then JC, JC, it's on site. He gets it. It's on site. Like, there's no conversation. I'm walking down the street. I'm minding my business. Like, I'm in, I see him. He says he reaches his hand out. I might need legal representation because like I don't want that man near me because like he wrote a letter. Like this is not like you going off to war, buddy. You're taking a job you left for Arkansas. At least Saban left for Alabama. You left for Arkansas. I know someone from Arkansas. It's a fine school, but I'm just saying, like, I guess that's the SEC and me saying Arkansas, like that. I'm like, it's okay. The JC's like the Michigan, they're Michigan right, being criminal. Yeah, listen,
Cheaters.
yeah, listen. I didn't say it. You know what the story before we turn into the NFL? The story should be Michigan basketball is not terrible. They're doing pretty good.
And you know what? As a habitual Michigan basketball person, individual, hater, yeah, they're doing insanely well. But unfortunately, their football program had to go and take all that limelight from them this week.
Yeah, it's like you see Dustin May's like, hey, we have a good team over here. Yeah, that's great and all, but man, yeah, that's what it's. And then we got man, I love this here. I do know a good lawyer too. Like, Mom, I know a good lawyer too. I don't know if she'll take the case. I don't know. But if she takes the case, if it's who we're both talking about, which I think we're simpatico on that, like that's a number I would consider. That's all I'm going to say. It's a number I would consider. And we got my friend Lorietta's here. Hello there, and Hailee. Hi, Lorietta, great friend. And so let's transition. I don't know how we do it, but like with the NFL, it's been a minute, but a lot's going on, obviously. But it's starting to shape out. It's starting to really like the games. They're always more important. It's the same thing. Like no matter whether it's college or pro, like the games get more important later in the season. And if I told people that the Dolphins Steelers game on Monday night is a big time game, you're like, oh, you're joking. No, like they're both like it has playoff thing. It has playoff things all around it. Like Thursday night game tonight. Listen, I'm a Falcons fan. You don't have to watch. You can watch, but
Sorry, LaDarius. I'm supporting.
I know. I saw the shirt and I'm like, listen, will I? The question is, will I watch? Will I watch wrestling or will I watch my team? You'll find out on Twitter during the game. And so I guess to kind of get to it, your thoughts. I'm very curious. I know it's gonna be like a broad question, but like we'll talk about each conference. When you look at the NFC, which looks, pretty strong, especially the NFC West looks very good, especially two teams in there with Seattle and Los Angeles. But I'm curious to get your thoughts on the NFC and who are you liking, who are you not liking, and that applies and that's the same question for the AFC as well.
Yeah, I feel like the NFC is really fun right now because it kind of feels a little bit top heavy, but it's really not. These teams are wildly different. I think when you're looking at the 49ers, you think, they're healthy right now. They're pretty balanced. You've got Debo, Christian McCaffrey, if he can. I just got a notification from fantasy that he's questionable, but this week. But I mean, I feel like his status is changing all the freaking time. But Ayuk, Kittle, the defense, like that's just, it's insane, right? And then you look at the Eagles and their ability to win kind of, I'll take it from the Tigers, the Detroit Tigers, like gritty wins, right? And as we can see, that can help teams be successful. Teams that have that grit and that can win in kind of ugly situations. That can help them be successful. They can get pretty far. Their secondary is still a little iffy and depending on the matchup, but their offense can still kind of offset that. Lions, of course, one pride. Their offense is pretty good if we could stay healthy. That's always kind of a question that kind of hit us last year. But I feel like in recent years, injuries are just kind of taking over the league in general. So I'm kind of getting over that excuse of, we're ridden with injuries. Okay, yeah, well, at this point, so is every team, right? But they're still physical on defense, and if they can stay healthy and still gritty again, they'll be fine. And especially when they have home field advantage. I mean, there's something like playing in Detroit. And then you look at the Cowboys, right? We got the Cowboys. Dak's playing, I would say, arguably the best football he's played in probably his whole career. But we still need to see those late season wins that kind of push them over that hump that they find themselves in. But yeah, I think that the NFC is drastically different from the AFC. That team or that conference, I think, is a little more competitive. I think there's a lot more heavy hitters than you have in the NFC. I mean, the Ravens, they're extremely well balanced, extremely depthful team, I would say. The most complete team. Lamar, he got his momentum back. He's playing like Lamar again. And so I can definitely see them being the AFC contender in the Super Bowl. But then I wouldn't panic on the Chiefs just yet. Although personally, I kind of like this downfall. But it's Kansas City. They have a great defense still, so that can kind of push them a little bit into the off season if they get there, or the postseason if they get there. And then the Dolphins. Who would have thought? Do I think they can beat a top offense or a top defense? No. But do I think that they're trending in the right direction? Absolutely. And then you look at Buffalo. I feel like we went from, Buffalo's the team to beat last season, the season before, and now it's just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like every week I'm not really sure if they're going to get the job done. But I think it's fun in both areas, and I think that the AFC and the NFC it's all shaping out to be a really fun end of the season and beginning of postseason time for viewers and fans.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I lean on the AFC, and I think about two teams. I think about Buffalo and I think about Baltimore, and to me, I think about it from a coaching perspective. Like for the Ravens, as great as Lamar is, that defense still is an issue. And I don't care what type of quarterback. Like, to me, Lamar's a game changer. He's the guy. He should, like, when the offense you plug him in, the offense looks different. He's that much of a game changer at that position. My problem has always been with John Harbaugh. I've said this on this show. I've said on pretty much any opportunity I have to say it. Is that we always look at Lamar and we judge Lamar. We don't judge John Harbaugh. It's like with and I bring it up again, it's the Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's out here with 84-year-old Aaron Rodgers out here competing for another quarterback he could take to the postseason. He had Russell Wilson, the guy who's sitting on the bench for the New York Jets. That guy was a starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Steelers postseason game just last season. My point is simply this. At the end of the day, if I'm Baltimore, I don't care what people are going to say, but I'm going to say it. Listen, if Baltimore don't make the postseason, get rid of John Harbaugh. I've been saying this for years. It's like we always look at the quarterback. We don't look at the coach. And for Sean McDermott, I like Sean McDermott. But my guy, you have Josh Allen. And if you can't, well, like, whether it's fair or not, if Buffalo falls short, even if Buffalo if they lose, to me, Buffalo's expectation this season is they have to make the AFC Championship. If they don't, I would consider giving Sean McDermott play. Oh, what do you mean? It's not the first time we've seen coaches make the playoffs get fired. Like, I remember, like, the late great Marty Schottenheimer when the Chargers went 14-2. 14-2. And you know why the Chargers lost? It wasn't because of Phillip Rivers. It wasn't because of Antonio Gates or LaDainian Thomas. It wasn't because of Sean Merriman. Nate Kading, the kicker. They lost to New England. And we all know the story from there. And at this point, so as great as some people are great up to a certain extent. Some people aren't built to coach in the postseason. Like, it's not unprecedented. I'd fire him. Like expectations. And I look at the NFC, and I look at Green Bay for some reason. I go, like, if Green Bay gets it together, if Jordan Love gets it together, they got a great run game. To your point about a healthy Josh Jacobs, and then you see Emmanuel Wilson being sprinkled in. They lost their top tight end, and all of a sudden Luke Musgrave looks good in the offense. You got Romeo Doubs, you got Christian Watson changing the way that offense looks. They're scary. Matthew Stafford. It's even with the 49ers, and it's like they have no business being Mac Jones won games for this team, and there's no. The NFC is very interesting to me. To me, the one team that I felt that I could really like hang my hat on is it's Green Bay and Seattle. Mike McDonald has changed the way that defense looks, and great job. I'm not going to talk about the team who they beat in Week 14. We don't have to talk about that. We don't. No, I don't have to legally talk. No, we don't have to talk about that. No, we're not going to talk about the team they went down to Atlanta and beat. We're not going to talk about who they played. We're not going to talk about that because I didn't listen. I tuned the first quarter. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to. It's like a movie you've seen over and over again. It's like, no, I know the ending and I still want to watch it. I'm like, no, I can only take so much heartbreak. My doctor said you got to stop doing that. Like, you got to stop doing that. But so yeah, so I think I think like the more and more we talk about, like the more shows we go on, I think there's gonna be more of a clearness that goes on in both. As for Kansas City, I'll say this: I won't write them out until I see it for myself. That's it. It's still Mahomes. It's still Andy Reid. Even though Travis Kelce, who I think this is his last season. I really do. I'm not saying it's Taylor. I'm not saying it's because of Taylor. It's like he kind of wanted to do it before, but like he has a reason out. He's a Hall of Famer. He's like, I don't need this. I have rings. I'm like, I got Taylor Swift. I don't need this. Like, that's the mentality I would have.
He's
I'm
done.
like,
Yeah, he's checked out.
Good. I'm good. Like, do I need a ring to retire? No, I'm good. I am good. And we have buddy Rachel. Chiefs are cooked. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. JC. And we got our buddy Tilty. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing your shirt. The Unwind.
Aww.
So she's amazing. The Unwind. It's a great fantasy program for women, bringing fantasy football together. She's absolutely amazing. I endorse it. I bought the shirt. Like, I'm in Florida. I will buy the hoodie. I live in Florida. I don't know how many times a year I'll wear the hoodie. Like, I put that full discretion. It gets chilly, but maybe I'll just turn my AC down in my room and then in my house, and then I'm like, oh man, I gotta throw something on, and then I'll just throw the hoodie on. I do like a good hoodie. And Rachel, shout out, yeah, absolutely, Rachel. She's the best. She's absolutely the best. She's amazing. So, and then we get the endorsement. Listen, mom's coming through. The lawyer with the look at that. The show sometimes writes itself. Like, do you write the show? I write like a page and then I leave. But before we get out of here, I do want to talk about, and I left space in here because it's somebody you and I both like and respect. And this person's having their final match this weekend. And I don't know if I'm ready. America. But like John Cena and Gunther, who I think was the right person to face. Me, I think it would have been Sheamus had Sheamus not been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
My whole theory is that I think Cena would have retained over Mysterio and the IC because Sheamus needed the IC belt to round out his Grand Slam. I think it would have been a great transition there. But I'll just say this before we get out of here and get your thoughts, and we can. It's just that when I first watched John Cena, I'm not gonna say how old I am. You guys, people who know how old I am, listen. You can do the math. We're smart people here. I'm not gonna say the number. We all know the number. But it's like I remember when he came out to the ring on a SmackDown and he faced Kurt Angle. And that's what started literally the Ruthless Aggression era. He literally started an era. And from that point on, he was dependable. To me, he reminded me a lot of my all-time favorite wrestler, who's The Undertaker. I love The Undertaker. And then ironically enough, who's the first person he sees backstage? The Undertaker. And it's like, because it's like those two to me, it's like there was a time like, and people may know this who are watching, like when WCW was like at its peak, they were poaching guys from WWE. But what were they doing? Like the one guy who stayed was consistent was The Undertaker. He stayed. Like it looked bleak and he stayed. And I respected him for that. I respected the loyalty. And John Cena, same thing. It's like to be good at what you do at any profession for 2 decades is great. And then his work off of it is even better. Like the Make-A-Wish, to me, that's where the impact is. It's the in and out of the ring. It's how I feel about Bayley. It's how I feel about Becky. It's how I feel about a lot. It's like their work outside of the ring to further the future of wrestling. I'm done with my. But before we wrap up, do you have any thoughts on John Cena before we wrap up today?
I'm gonna be sad.
Look at that! Look at that!
I'm gonna be so sad. I love John Cena. He's my favorite wrestler. I like him because he's someone that people like me can get into. So I haven't been a wrestling fan for a long time. I am a relatively new fan, but you know John Cena. You know who he is. You know his legacy. So he's easy to follow and easy to root for, especially obviously this past year on his farewell tour. I think it has been the coolest thing. I can't remember where he was, but he came out, I think maybe Boston. I think so, but he came on and there was just a bunch of kids. He brought a bunch of kids out when he was about to, go up there. And I'm like, he's just having so much fun. And it's been really awesome to see him embrace this last kind of chapter of this career of his. But yeah, I mean, he's made a name for himself in every aspect of entertainment, I would say. So I don't know. I'm going to be sad, but I'm also excited to see, what now he can put more effort and focus into because, obviously wrestling takes up a lot of time and energy. So, it's going to be really sad. I definitely think John Cena is going to win. There's no way he's going to go out on a loss. I don't think they would do that to us, the fans, but it's going to be really fun and exciting, but sad.
Yeah, it's like I always say this: appreciate greatness. And I think that, and they were reported that he wanted the tour to be longer, and WWE said no, you do these dates and we're fine. Which I think was the right call at the end of the day because he wanted to thank everybody all across the world, and that's what John Cena means to this business. It gets non-wrestling. He's the guy who gets non-wrestling fans into wrestling. Him and I think The Rock were the two that really got, like, if you didn't have to be a wrestling fan, but you knew they existed and you knew they wrestled, and that's kind of the entrance way. And Cena, like The Rock was that for a lot of people, and Cena was that for another generation as well. And let's see the chat before we get out of here. It says Gunther can't be Cena. Yeah, listen. WWE, don't you dare put Gunther. Listen, I like Gunther, but Cena, like if Cena says he wants to lose, I'll accept that. But if y'all out here trying to write, no, we're not doing it. I could go on a rant, but we're going to end it there. Next week, remember this, America. Remember the point where I ranted, and then we'll carry it to next week's show when we're on. And then I'll lead off with that, and then we just go into everything else. But before we get out of here, Hailee, tell the amazing people where they can find you and all that you do. I think she's muted. Yeah.
You can find me Oh, microphones are going to be the death of me today. You can find me on all social media platforms at the Hailee Murphy. That's TheHailMurphy.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, that's why we got to get out of here because this technology it's going to ruin both of us. It's like we have great careers. We're both been like, man, that one episode, man, it was great. Like we have a lot of people watching now, and they're like, man, they're gonna. Hopefully, you guys come back next week. We'll figure it out. We'll have a meet.
These freaking microphones.
But and then thank you, and then mom with the applause. Listen, love the mom. I still love the shirt. I still have it in my. It's my all time. And by the way, you know who didn't make it to the Big Ten championship game? A West Coast team. Just saying. So listen, the shirt has validity. Friends and future friends, you can listen to this episode, every episode of the Sports in the World podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Find those social LaDarius_Brown on Twitter and TikTok, _Brown on Instagram, and all that amazing stuff. And friends and future friends, until you, Jesus, I've missed up this outro so many. There goes my Cal Ripken streak. And for Hailee and for me, LaDarius, be real, and be safe. All here from the Sports and the World podcast. There you go. I got you.